Nova Minerals, trading with the ticker NVA on the ASX, is very busy exploring and advancing its giant gold project Estelle in Alaska. Although for now the company is concentrating on only 1 out of 15 known targets. It's been a while since we last talked to CEO Christopher Gerteisen, and we hope he can bring us up to speed on this exciting project. Chris, good to talk to you again.
Always good to be on with you, Bjorn. I think the last time we spoke was maybe November or October, so it's been a while. It's great to be here to give you a good update.
That's what we're hoping for. Please tell us where you're at with the Estelle-Project at the moment. Where's the resource at, for example?
Last time we spoke, around that time, recall, we were reporting a 3.3 million ounce resource. So that's how it stands currently. And we called that an interim resource at the time because we drilled nonstop throughout the entire year in 2020. But remember, our bottleneck was with the assay laboratory. And so based on only 16 holes out of the total of 64 holes that we actually drilled last year, based on those 16 holes, we came out with this interim resource to see how we're tracking and update the market. And we got a over 30% increase in metal from the maiden resource. That equates to 800,000 ounces. And so now we're on the run up to the next resource update, which will be coming up here end of March, early April. And so what we have now is an additional 48 holes that'll be included in this next resource. And from we've worked out this assay results turnaround issue, and I have 90% of the results back now. They're just flooded in, and so our guys are validating and verifying that now. You've already seen several news releases with some of that data coming out now, which is just showing broad scale mineralization continuing along strike. And so I feel more confident than ever that our guidance of over 5 million ounces, 5 to 7 million ounces will be reached in this next resource. And the reason I say that is because, as the results have shown that have recently been released, is that the strike extension now of the Korbel main deposit, this is that block A and block B, which have now converged, is now 1,800 meters. So with the 3.3 million ounce interim resource, that strike length was only around 1,300 meters. And so we've significantly increased the strike length, especially a large blowout zone down to the southeast, this pad 6 drilling, as we call it. Significant tonnages going to be added in that area, as well as the convergence of block A and block B, which we now call Korbel main, and also to the northwest there remains open, and there's some extensions there. And so the deposit remains open in most directions. I used to say in all directions, because what we've seen now in the drilling is that we've accomplished one goal. We found a boundary to the mineralization to the east. What we see there, and what you'll see in some of the results that we put out in the drill hole sections, is that to the east, when we drill there seems to be some kind of a structural feature there that and on the other side of that, we're not seeing much mineralization. And so that's quite a sharp boundary. We have the structural experts looking at it now. What we believe that represents that sharp boundary is an offset potentially of the Korbel main deposit. And so on the other side of that, and we'll be exploring that more this year, on the other side of that, we hope and we believe will be the other half of Korbel main. And so there's potential for that. And we're looking at the movement, whether it's moved to the left or to the right, but there's further potential for the other half of Korbel main there. And so, so that's where we stand. Resource to be released in, let's say, early April.
Okay, well, certainly not far away now, and we're looking forward to it very much. And I think the market is too, because we're getting accustomed, to be honest, to your nice broad intersects with the results, the grades that we know now from the deposits. So it's time to get the numbers together and see what's what. Though that's still not the end of it, of course. I mean, you've been drilling, I don't know how many thousands of meters in 2020. I think you planned on 40, I don't know, 40,000, I don't know where that came out. And you planned on doubling that again this year.
Yeah, that's correct. So what will be included in this next resource update will be just over 30,000 meters will be included in this resource. And so, of course, we're continuing to drill nonstop and you have to have a cutoff date somewhere. So we're drilling nonstop throughout the rest of the year. I have 4 rigs on site, so I've secured 4 rigs. Remember, last year we drilled with only 2 rigs. This year we're drilling with 4 rigs. I've secured 4 rigs. Drill rigs are actually hard to come by right now, believe it or not. And so, but I have 4 on site. They're mine. And so what we'll be doing with those 4 rigs is our plan is to drill up to 80,000 meters. And the plan with that drilling is 2 of those rigs will be focused on core bell main, infill drilling, continuing to drill along strike, just that core bell main to start to prove that up, because we need to start moving some of those resources into the reserves as our studies progress here. So 2 rigs on core bell main, just focused on that. 1 rig, those are 2 diamond rigs on core bell main. The other diamond rig will go around Core Bell Valley, Cathedral. Remember, also in the Core Bell Valley, which we have those exceptional rock chip samples, several ounces per ton. I have a drill pad built there. That'll be drilled come springtime, let's say April, May this year. And so we believe actually that Core Bell, that with those results at Cathedral, that could be the actual core center of the Core Bell Valley system. It's all part of one system. Remember, 10 million ounce deposits are not uncommon in our neighborhood here. It's just these are behemoth style deposits, and that's what we believe we're on to Core Bell deposit there. The other, so that rig will then hit Cathedral. Also, that rig will then go out to some of these outer lying prospects. Namely, the next cab off the rank is the RPM prospect. This is where we have rock chip samples of 9 to 10 ounces per ton, and we've identified 2 zones there now, RPM and RPM South, as we call it. We believe those connect at depth. We'll drill up to 5,000 meters there in 2021 and come out with a maiden resource on RPM. And so this will add serious depth to the Estelle Gold Project. Now we'll have 2 resource areas by the end of the year. And I don't even want to speculate now how many millions of ounces we potentially have at RPM, but the work and the maiden resource will begin in earnest this year. The 4th rig is an RC rig, and that rig will continue to work in the Core Bell Valley as a scout drilling rig. We've already done some scout drilling on Block C and identified some targets for the diamond rigs to come in and drill deeper holes. And also it'll just continue on doing scout drilling at Block D, Isabella, some of these low hanging fruit in the Core Bell Valley there. So that's the plan going forward. Very active year. We plan to drill up to 80,000 meters. That's our objective this year.
Okay, right. Yeah, you're certainly going to be busy. Also, because at the same time you're advancing the project through environmental studies, economic studies, what have you. Can you tell us a bit about that? Also, you're looking at ore sorting at the moment, and can you give us around about what are your plans for this year apart from all the drill work?
Oh, okay. So we're in the thick of our metallurgical studies now, which includes looking at CIP, right? And that is the bottle roll test work. Looking at heap leach, and that is the column leach test work. Looking at bulk ore sorting and particle ore sorting. So we're right in the middle of all that. You know, the beauty of so we have many options. We have many options for a flow sheet and a processing route. And what will come from this work in the scoping study that we intend to release this year is one or many of these processing options will be utilized, right? And so it's still early days in those studies. In the next 2 to 3 months, these results will start to come out, and that'll all be included in our scoping study to show to the market that there is a profitable operating scenario here at the Estelle Gold Project. Now, of course, it'll just be a snapshot in time. What we're talking about is something that will take, and over the years, as we continue to drill this, that will start to grow, and the whole operating parameters will grow significantly. But what we need to show is that there is a profitable, highly profitable scenario that can be achieved, and that's the intention of the upcoming scoping study. Now, you mentioned environmental. So in these type of studies, the other thing on our fast track to production here is to get our environmental and permitting online. And so what we've done is we've engaged some very reputable consultants here. These guys this is the Jade North outfit. These guys were previously part of the Alaska State Department of Natural Resources. They were involved in setting up what we call the large mine permitting assistance team, which is embedded within the Department of Natural Resources here to assist, obviously, companies to develop larger mines. And so now they're private consultants. They know the ins and outs. They know how to navigate this system. These are our consultants. What we're doing, what they've laid out for us now is a permitting schedule and plan and how we get there in the quickest possible way. The other thing is we're starting our environmental baseline studies. We have a plan for that. We'll start taking out the equipment, the monitoring equipment. That'll start to get installed here in the springtime, and we'll get that long lead time data collected now. You know, some of this data needs to be collected. You have to have 12 to 18 months worth of data. We're going to start that now so that when we come to the permits, we'll have it all right there and will not hold us back. And so, relatively speaking, in terms of permitting and environmental and all these things, of course, very, very, very strict regime in Alaska, as it should be. You know, remember, Alaska has several pillars of the economy here. It's about nature, outdoors, hunting, fishing, tourism. That's one pillar. And the other pillar is, of course, natural resources. And so very strict regime, but not an anti-regime, very pro-development regime. And we found a way to work together. Both of these are important parts of our economy here. And so we've never had more support from the state of Alaska, especially in these trying economic times, in terms of getting the project support that we need and really move forward. Alaska, the state, has a vested interest to provide projects like ours to the economy. So we're well ahead of the curve with the environmental and permitting.
Okay, that's always good to hear, because that can hold you up for a long time if you don't go proactively on it. Good to hear. So now, well, we've been talking at GOLDINVEST about Nova Minerals a long time ago for the first, I don't know how long ago it was, but you had a big run up in 2020. And then the stock this year has been trading mostly sideways, let's say. In your opinion, why would now still be a good point in time for investors to think about taking a position in Nova Minerals?
Right. So let's call it the lull in some of the share activity. You know, now we're down in the trenches. We have to get these studies done. We have to get this resource out. And so over the last few months, I haven't been out doing a lot of interviews, just been down in the trenches trying to get this work done for the next big round of exciting news coming up. So Nova Minerals, so as we know, just on a macro sense, look at the world economy. I mean, there's a lot of risks out there, and I think the gold space is, you know, if you want to leverage yourself and secure your wealth, I think most people are coming around to realize that gold is certainly provides that type of security. So with Nova Minerals as a choice for that investment to leverage yourself against the gold price and against the risks that are in our economy. We're talking about a company that's based in a proven jurisdiction of absolutely very large scale, proven deposits, highly profitable deposits, these intrusive related gold systems. Look at our peers, Kinross, Fort Knox, Victoria Gold, very successful operations. This is the Tintina Gold Province, 10 million ounce plus deposits. The beauty of these large, long-term, 30-year mine life, low strip ratio deposits is you have many options in terms of if the gold price goes up, you can always drop your cutoff and capture a significant amount of more tons, meaning more metal. The other thing is we're in this jurisdiction of Alaska, pro-development, right? Very important in these, with a lot of risks going on in the world. So very good jurisdiction in being in Alaska. The other thing is, of course, the upside, the incredible upside we still have the Estelle gold price. You mentioned it in the beginning. What we've been talking about, we've been focused on, is the Corbel deposit. This is only 2% of our total 325 square kilometer claims up here. And so we're unlocking the district. We have 15 other known prospects across our claims. RPM, which I mentioned, is 20 miles along mineralized strike to the south. When you fly that route, I say mineralized strike, when you fly from Corbel and to RPM and you look down, it's not a lot of vegetation. It is just absolutely littered with color anomalies that are screaming at you many of these are unnamed. So as we progress here, we will be starting to get the geologists down there and start to take some sampling and do the basic groundwork, sampling, mapping to identify more of these prospects. And so there's no shortage of targets, and we will be developing a pipeline of projects going into the Korbel main processing area as we start up. So upside, huge, massive upside, not only still at Korbel and RPM, but also all the way in between. And so those are some of the reasons why Nova Minerals, people should keep that on their radar and consider Nova Minerals as an investment.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Well, certainly good to hear that there's a lot of upside at Korbel and on the Estelle. Whoever wants to know more about Nova Minerals should go to the company website, or the people can go to goldinvest.de, and on the mining profiles you'll find Nova Minerals too. Thank you, Chris, for taking the time, giving us this update, and I guess we'll talk at the latest when that next resource update comes out. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us on, Bjorn, and look forward to the next update.